Welcome to the Oakville Public Library's Take and Make program. This month's project is a Pride Not Prejudice Book Bag that was created on the Cricut Maker that's available at the Glen Abbey Creation Zone. This project was made in celebration of Oakville's LGBTQIA2S+ community and in support of equality for all. Inside your kit, you're going to find an envelope full of roughly cut heat transfer vinyl designs. And you'll see that there are various colors to represent one variation of the Pride rainbow. You'll also have a piece of parchment paper to transfer the vinyl and a white canvas bag. In addition to what comes in your kit, you're going to need access to an iron to iron out the wrinkles and to transfer the designs. If you don't happen to have an iron, you can always come into the Glen Abbey Creation Zone to borrow ours. Now we're going to go ahead and move our parchment and our bag off to the side and empty the contents of our envelope. And we're going to go through the process of weeding all our vinyl. And in the world of Cricut, weeding simply means to remove excess material from around your design. So you'll see that my kit looks a little bit different than yours because I've actually already pre-weeded some of my cut pieces. So here's an example of the red arch for my rainbow that hasn't yet been weeded. And you can see the faint outline of the cut in the material. So what we're going to do is we're going to remove the excess so that we just end up with the arch that we're going to transfer onto our bag. So I've actually already gone ahead and peeled up a little bit of the material so that it's easy to remove. But if you notice it's hard to get off or you need some more to pull, you can always use tweezers to kind of lift it off the backing. So it's as simple as that. And this is the same process for all your cut pieces, including the black text. And any excess material you can just throw in the trash. So once again, we're just going to take one of our pieces, grab some of that lifted material, and just peel it away. Now with the black text, you want to be mindful of the inner pieces of your letters. So for example, in the R, I've removed the center shape, and I'm going to have to do the same thing with my P. So I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to remove the surrounding vinyl. It helps to have long fingernails here at times. And then I'm going to make sure that I remove the centerpiece of my letter. Alright, so I've done that for all my pieces. They're all fully weeded, so I'm ready to move on to step 2 of the project. So I'm just going to go heat up my iron and get ready to transfer the design. Alright, so I have my iron here, and I've set it to the highest cotton heat setting. Now, if you have the ability to turn off the steam on your iron, you'll want to do that. Otherwise, what I've done here is emptied the water container in my iron so that no steam is emitted. We definitely don't want any steam for this transfer. Now you can use an ironing board for this portion of the project, but I've actually gone ahead and placed a piece of masonite inside the bag to give it some structure and a firm surface to work on. So you could use any heat-resistant material inside the bag if you choose to. Now to start, we're going to iron out all the wrinkles on our bag so they don't interfere with the transfer. Next, you'll just want to make sure that the fabric's nice and flat and aligned at all edges. Then we'll come in with a lint roller or some tape just to remove the fibers on the bag. We're now ready to start transferring our designs, so we're going to look for the red arch of our rainbow to begin. And we'll use this as a guide to help center the overall project, making sure we have enough room for both the rainbow and for the text that reads Pride, Not Prejudice. So I'm actually using the edge of the rainbow from the left to the right as an alignment tool for the text. So the P should align with the bottom left of your rainbow. And the same goes for the Not Prejudiced wording. Now you can definitely eyeball the centering, but another trick other than using a ruler for perfect measurements is to use your hands or your fingers as a way to space your design on the left and right and even the top and bottom of the bag. Alright, so that looks good. So we're now ready to put our parchment down. But I actually should mention that the clear, shiny plastic side should be facing up towards you. So that's the more vibrant color of the vinyl. And then the sticky, more tacky side is what you put down on the fabric. So with that in mind, we're going to place the parchment paper on top. And we're going to grab our heated iron, again on the highest cotton setting with no steam. And we're going to apply a medium pressure for 15 to 20 seconds at a time, moving all the way across our design. This way we're going to get a really nice transfer. So we're going to start with applying medium pressure for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 seconds. Lift it up and place it down on the next section of our design. Now I don't recommend moving the iron for these thinner rainbow bits as you're transferring it because it does have the tendency to shift from the weight or the pressure of the iron. So I'm just holding it with medium pressure for 15, sometimes 20 seconds at a time. Alright, so I made the rookie mistake of running out of storage on my recording device, so we didn't quite capture the full transfer process. But you can see here that I successfully transferred the red and the orange. So we're just going to go through the same process for the next color in our rainbow. So I'm just going to grab the yellow arch and place it within the orange, and just using the base of the rainbow as an alignment on the left and on the bottom of the right. And you can actually see here between the red and the orange I have a bit of a gap, and that's because when I went to apply the iron it actually shifted the vinyl. So it can be a little bit tricky working with such thin pieces, so just be mindful of that when applying pressure. Next we place our piece of parchment and hold the iron for 15 to 20 seconds with medium pressure. Whatever you do, definitely don't hold the iron for any longer than 20 seconds because you'll actually end up burning the adhesive, in which case you wouldn't get anything transferring to the bag. So this is about where we got cut off in the last video. So the next step in the transfer process is to remove the parchment paper and the clear top sheet. So just be mindful the plastic will be very hot. And we're just going to slowly peel it back. And here I actually notice the vinyl isn't stuck to the bag. So I'm going to place it back down, put the parchment on top, and hold the iron for another 5 to 10 seconds, but not much longer. So again, I'll remove the parchment and try removing the plastic this time, and perfect, it looks great. So I'm going to do the same process with the next arch in my rainbow. Once again, I'm placing it within the previous color and using the base of the rainbow as my alignment. Next, I'll place my parchment sheet on top and I'll hold the iron for 15 to 20 seconds. Alright, so we're just going to go ahead and repeat this for the rest of our colors. Next, we're going to place our letters, starting with the word pride, and it's going to align from the bottom left to the bottom right of the rainbow. Now, I've actually cut out each individual letter, and that's because this vinyl is a little bit more temperamental, so I highly recommend you do this as well. So I'm just placing it out just to visualize and space it as necessary, and then I'm going to transfer them individually. So as you can see here, I've aligned the right of the E with the right of the red arch. So this gives me a good sense of how all my letters will fit. So I'm going to place my parchment and transfer the E for 15 to 20 seconds. Now this black vinyl is slightly different than the colored vinyl, so there will be some variation in the texture. So I have found that holding it for 15 seconds works really well, but you often have to go over some other areas. I just don't want you to risk burning off the adhesive. So start with 15 to 20 seconds, and in this case I have to apply a little bit more pressure to fully transfer it, but always work in small increments with this black vinyl in particular. Now, another recommendation for working with the black vinyl is to give it about a 5-second rest period before peeling off the plastic. And this time it worked fairly well. So you're just going to go ahead and do this with the rest of your letters. Now for the final word on this side of the bag, we have Not Prejudice. Now most of you will have this cut in one piece, and because they're smaller letters, you don't have to cut them out individually. So I'm just going to place it all as one strip, which makes it a lot easier to align, but I'll just have to add the last 3 letters of my word. So there you have the front side of your Pride Not Prejudice book bag. Now there is still a red heart that you could place on the front of the bag if you want, but if I could find mine, I was actually going to place it in the center on the back so that I had a 2-sided bag. But you can show off your creativity and place it wherever you choose. So that's it for today's Take and Make. We hope you guys enjoyed this project and proudly tote your pride. Take care!